Antarctica is a vast land. It is found at the bottom of our Earth. This continent is almost entirely covered by ice. This ice sheet is enormous. It is in places miles thick. This incredible expanse of frozen water has been there for a very long time, for millions of years. It holds about 90% of all the fresh water on our planet. This makes Antarctica incredibly important. It is a giant reservoir of fresh water locked away in a frozen state, influencing the entire globe in ways we are only beginning to fully understand. Its sheer size and icy nature make it unique. The ice in Antarctica plays a crucial role. It acts like a giant reflective shield for our planet. Its white surface bounces sunlight back into space. This process is called albedo. This reflection helps to keep the Earth cool. Without this cooling effect, our planet would be much warmer. So, Antarctica's ice is a key part of the Earth's climate system. It helps regulate global temperatures. It influences weather patterns far away from the South Pole. The stability of this ice is therefore vital for the stability of our global climate. Icebergs are a common sight around Antarctica. These are massive pieces of freshwater ice. They break off from glaciers. They also break off from ice shelves. Ice shelves are thick, floating platforms of ice. They form where a glacier or ice sheet flows down to a coastline and onto the ocean's surface. When these huge chunks of ice carve or break away, they become icebergs. These icebergs then float in the Southern Ocean. Some are as big as small countries. They drift slowly, melting over time. Now let us consider a serious question. What if this enormous amount of ice in Antarctica started to melt much faster? What would happen if this giant freezer at the South Pole began to thaw significantly? Scientists around the world are studying this possibility very closely. The future of Antarctica's ice is not just a remote scientific curiosity, it is a matter of profound importance for every person on Earth. The stability of this frozen continent is directly linked to the future of our coastlines and our climate. The main reason Antarctica's ice is melting is because our planet is getting warmer. Global temperatures are rising. This warming is not a natural cycle alone, it is largely caused by human activities. We burn fossil fuels like coal, oil, and gas. We do this for energy, for transport, and for industry. Burning these fuels releases gases into the atmosphere. These are called greenhouse gases, such as carbon dioxide. These gases trap heat like a blanket around the Earth. This makes the planet warmer. This is often called global warming. The process of melting happens in a few ways. Warmer air temperatures melt the surface of the ice sheets and glaciers. This creates meltwater. This water can flow into cracks in the ice. It can make the cracks bigger. It can even reach the bottom of the ice. This can make the ice slide faster towards the sea. Also, the ocean waters around Antarctica are getting warmer. This warm water melts the ice from underneath. This is especially a problem for the floating ice shelves. They're attacked from above by warm air and from below by warm water. When ice melts, there are immediate effects on the ice itself. Glaciers, which are like rivers of ice, start to move more quickly. They carry more ice from the land into the ocean. Ice shelves, which act like dams holding back the land ice, can become thinner. They can develop large cracks. Sometimes huge sections of these ice shelves break off completely. This process is called calving. It creates more icebergs, and the loss of these ice shelves means that the land ice behind them can flow faster into the sea, accelerating ice loss. There is also something called a feedback loop. This can make the melting worse. Ice is white and reflects sunlight. But when ice melts, it often exposes darker land or ocean water underneath. Dark surfaces absorb more sunlight than ice. They absorb more heat. This makes the area even warmer. More warming leads to more ice melting. This cycle can repeat itself. It can cause the melting to speed up over time. This is a dangerous process that scientists are very concerned about. Melting land ice in Antarctica causes global sea levels to rise. This is like adding water to a bathtub. The water level goes up. Antarctica holds an enormous volume of ice. If it all melted, sea levels would rise by 60 meters. This would reshape coastlines worldwide. The map of our planet would change profoundly. Scientists estimate a rise of approximately 60 meters. This is a truly staggering figure. It would take centuries or millennia to melt completely. Even a smaller rise of 1 or 2 meters can be devastating. This smaller rise could happen much sooner. Land ice melting is the real concern for sea level rise. This includes the West and East Antarctic ice sheets. Rising sea levels would dramatically alter coastlines. Low-lying areas would be submerged. Small island nations could disappear completely. The shapes of continents would change. River deltas would be inundated. This process has already begun. Sea levels are rising and Antarctica's melt is a growing contributor. Many of the world's largest and most important cities are located near the coast. Think about places like New York City, London, Tokyo, Shanghai, Mumbai, and Sydney. These cities are centers of population, culture, and commerce. If sea levels rise significantly due to Antarctic ice melt, these urban centers would face severe and repeated flooding. Millions, even hundreds of millions of people live in these vulnerable coastal zones. Their homes, their livelihoods, and their communities would be directly threatened by the encroaching sea. This is a human crisis in the making. The impact would not just be on homes. Critical infrastructure in coastal regions would also be at risk. Roads and railway lines would be flooded. Bridges could be damaged or destroyed. Ports, which are vital for global trade, would become unusable. Power plants and wastewater treatment facilities, often located near the coast for cooling or discharge, would be compromised. Freshwater supplies could also be affected. As sea levels rise, salt water can seep into underground freshwater sources, a process called saltwater intrusion. This would contaminate drinking water for many communities, making it undrinkable. The loss of land and homes would inevitably lead to human displacement. People living in areas that become permanently flooded or too dangerous to live in will have to move. They will become climate refugees. Finding new places for these displaced populations to live will be a massive challenge. They will need housing, food, water, and jobs. This could lead to competition for resources in safer areas. It could also cause social tensions and potentially even conflict, both within countries and between them. Managing such large-scale migration will require immense planning and international cooperation. Higher sea levels also mean that storm surges become much more dangerous. Storm surges are the abnormal rise in seawater level during a storm over and above the regular astronomical tides. When the baseline sea level is higher, even a normal storm can push water much further inland. This means that coastal storms like hurricanes or cyclones will cause more extensive flooding and damage than they do today. Existing coastal defenses, such as seawalls and levees, might be overwhelmed. They may no longer provide adequate protection. This makes living in coastal areas increasingly precarious. Antarctica is home to unique wildlife. Many species depend heavily on the ice. Emperor and Adelie penguins rely on stable sea ice. They use it for breeding and raising chicks. Less sea ice means less habitat and harder lives. Changes in sea ice disrupt all these activities. Krill are a keystone species, vital for many animals. A decline in krill affects the entire ecosystem. Melting ice reduces habitat and changes the ocean. The delicate balance of the Southern Ocean is at risk. Section 6. Global Ripples, Climate in Chaos. The melting of Antarctica's ice has far-reaching consequences for the entire planet. One major effect is on ocean currents. These currents transport heat, salt, and nutrients around the globe. Changes in ocean currents can lead to changes in global weather patterns. Melting ice creates a positive feedback loop, leading to more warming and more ice melt. Section 7. Humanity's response, adapting to a new reality. Faced with melting Antarctic ice and rising sea levels, humanity must adapt. Coastal communities can build protective structures. This includes seawalls, dikes, and flood barriers. Elevating infrastructure is another strategy. Managed retreat might be necessary in vulnerable areas. Relocating communities to higher ground is crucial. Protecting freshwater sources is critical. Desalination plants may become necessary. International cooperation is essential. The impacts are global, requiring a united response. Section 8. Can we survive? The human factor. The scale of the challenge posed by melting Antarctic ice is immense. Human civilization has developed during a stable climate period. Our cities and agriculture are adapted to these conditions. Adapting to rapid changes will be incredibly difficult. It will test our resilience and cooperation. The future will look very different from the past. Humans are an adaptable species. We have faced numerous environmental challenges and survived. We possess remarkable intelligence and problem-solving skills. Our scientific understanding of Earth's systems is growing. Innovation could help us cope with a changing world. The changes we face are unlike anything before. The impacts of Antarctic ice melt would be profound. Food security could be threatened. Access to fresh water could become a major conflict. Health risks could increase. The economic costs of damage will be astronomical. These impacts could widen the gap between wealthy and poorer nations. Our ability to survive depends on the choices we make now. Reducing greenhouse gas emissions is critical. The more we allow the planet to warm, the more severe the consequences. The future is not predetermined. We still have the power to influence the long-term trajectory. Our actions today will shape the world for generations to come. Section 9, the future's edge, choices and consequences. If we continue on our current path, the long-term outlook is bleak. Continued warming will lead to more ice melting in Antarctica. Sea levels will rise for centuries. The world map will be redrawn. Coastal cities and island nations will be lost. Ecosystems will be drastically altered. This is a future of profound change. Mitigation is urgent. We must reduce greenhouse gas emissions, shift to renewable energy sources, improve energy efficiency, protect and restore forests. Every fraction of a degree matters. Research and monitoring are vital. Scientists work to understand ice sheet behavior. They gather data using satellites and field expeditions. This research improves our predictions. Information is essential for informed decisions. Understanding Antarctica prepares us for the future. Antarctica's fate is linked to our future. Our choices will determine the extent of ice melt. Protecting Antarctica safeguards our planet. It is a shared responsibility. Our actions will tip the balance.